So this is my May block for the Roxey Creations Journal of Stitchery. We need to use a quilt block, so this is a very old double wedding ring quilt that came into the thrift store, and it was loved, as you can see by the holes that are in it. I was going to use the double wedding ring initially as a path, but then I decided to use it to have the sun pop out. And there are one of those holes that you can see there. We're visiting our sun, so I'm working in many different places. So here is the element that I'm using for the sun. It is a crocheted tulip. There would have been 6 of these in a 3-dimensional doily that we came into the thrift shop, and it was, of course, they never stood up well. So it was going to be thrown out, so I took it apart. So I have lots and lots of those yellow 3-leaved pieces. So this is the purple that's going to be the body of the house. It's a quilt and cottage block, and here's the roof will go on. I've got a bit of purple rickrack there to use. And then I'm going to use dark green cotton to back some of the lace that will represent a fence, and the lace will hang down below the block. Sorry for the road noise. You'll see that at the end when the block is done. And then these violets or purple flowers came from a pillowcase that again had holes in it, but I thought that the flowers were worth saving. And there's a butterfly, and I'm going to put that element on the roof, which is pieces of lace that have been cut apart. And then we have the rest of the little pieces that will run up the side of the house, making like a vine. So that's what the block is basically going to look like when I'm done, but we all know that once you start working on them, they change. So I've started to sew on the sun, and what I'm doing is I am using a running stitch, just going in and out of the crocheted element and extending it into the quilt to look like the rays of the sun. And once I have all the rays in, then I'm going to use colonial knots to give it a little bit more depth, and I'm still deciding what I'm going to do in the center. So here is my sun on my block completed. So I've done running stitches coming out, making the sun, and then I have done, oh my God, I can't think of it. It's a knot. It's not a French knot. I'll have to write it down. I can't remember. And then I've done tufts in the center. So now I will start, that'll be it for this little video, and then I'll start working on the house.